What's going on, all you wild dystopian enthusiasts out there? It's your two favorite uncles back for Cinephellas. I'm Logan Myers, my good mate over there.
And I'm Uncle Henry Hill, and we are talking about the return of the hit sci fi dystopian show, this anthology series that's been airing for many years now, created by Charlie Brooker. The last time we saw this was season 5 back in 2019. It had 3 episodes back then. We're back with 5 brand new episodes in season 6 here. A lot of familiar faces this season along the way. And in this season, we were introduced to some new elements. It's mainly been sci fi, but now we're introducing the horror and the supernatural. We're talking about season 6 of the hit Netflix show, Black Mirror.
It has taken you over, and you must be humble in the face of it. Things they can do.
Me and this guy over here have been fans since the beginning of this series. It's like a modern techno dystopian series, much like the Outer Limits or the Twilight Zone, or aspects of X-Files, all wrapped into a modern take. I'm really looking at technology and predicting a lot of stuff that's happened in real life with AI and government always watching you, privacy, stuff like that. They always predict it before it actually comes out in the news or stuff happening in the world. So it's really interesting, really always had really great writers, actors that are big names now. They, earlier in their careers, they would show up, 1 or 2 episodes of Black Mirror. So it's always been one of my favorite shows. Really excited that it finally returned, season 6, 5 episodes. There's a few episodes that I really, really enjoyed.
Yeah, it all kicks off with Annie Murphy as Joan. You'll remember Annie Murphy from Schitt's Creek, Alexis on that show, really popular show, really popular actress, got a lot of acclaim for that show. She plays this, basically woman that's in charge of hiring and firing people at this kind of Google. It looks like it's on Silicon Valley. It's a big business, and she basically has to, fire people and really ruin people's days. Well, she does that at the beginning of one of her work days. She fires this girl who thought that she was her friend, really does it in a cold-hearted way, really, breaks the girl's heart there. And that girl, I recognize, it was the girl from Chef, the actress from Chef there. Yep, she plays this cold-hearted lady, and then she goes home later on in the day and with her boyfriend, and they're watching Netflix, or as they call it, Streamberry. And that she sees a picture of Salma Hayek, and it's basically looks just like her, the way she has blonde highlights in the front of her hair, wearing the same green jacket, and has the same look. And the name of the show is Joan is Awful. Well, her name's Joan also. So she starts watching it, and it basically is like exactly what happened to her that day, but with Salma Hayek playing her.
Yeah, it's pretty unique. I like this episode a lot. I love the way that it kicked off this season, because it's a look at what's happening in real time, also talking about a lot of technology stuff going on with this, but everything she's doing at work, it's on this TV show with Salma Hayek. It really shows what a piece of shit she really is, and hence the name Joan is Awful, the name of the series. And of course, Joan is watching this at home with her fiance, and he gets to see in the TV series how shady she is, and she's talking to her ex-boyfriend and ends up leaving her. But the series keeps going on as her life is deteriorating away. It's going downhill, loses her job, loses her relationship, and it's all being broadcast on this TV show.
Extremely meta. That's what they're going for. Looking at Netflix as a whole, with the way that they use certain shows and they're launched into the stratosphere, certain documentaries trying to show real life. It's very much a take on that, and how, everybody is binging everything now, and they're going towards more reality shows. Like a lot of the top 10 shows are these reality shows. Well, this really plays off that. And a look with that, not going to spoil anything else that happens with it, but it's a very strong start for the season. It feels like one of the better episodes in recent years that I've watched. Also, Michael Cera shows up in there, and Hamesh Patel, another actor that I recognize there in there that played her boyfriend, but in the Salma Hayek show. So it's interesting because it's taken a look at Netflix, which is what Black Mirror is streaming on. So it was cool that Netflix were cool and let this go forward, and it's showing the dangers of these streaming services too, and the way that we're looking in on everybody's lives now. It's there's not a lot of privacy anymore in there. So that was the first episode. The second episode takes a totally different route. It's going on like the true crime series that are streaming all over Netflix too, and are popular on other platforms. And we are thrust into where did this take place? Was this Ireland
Scotland.
Or was this Scotland? Okay, yes.
Yeah,
and
this
it's
was
called Loch Henry.
Loch Henry, obviously the Loch Ness monster, but really take on that.
Yeah, they're going over to make this documentary about this couple that were on a honeymoon, I believe, and then vanished. We found out that the main guy's dad. We find Davis, who's the main character in this episode. He's with his girlfriend Pia, and they're going to make this documentary. We find out that Davis's dad was involved in this, murder investigation back in the day. His dad being one of the cops that was involved. We find out that he got shot by the guy that was, implicated in the murders of this couple and the murders of some other people. So it's very much a look at true crime and kind of them documenting it. And, it's in the format of the true crime series that, we've seen plenty of, but it has its own unique take on it. They go back to his childhood home, meet with the mother that's still alive, talk with her. And then as the episode goes on, more secrets are revealed and they get pulled into like a whole new, murders that are happening there.
It was a pretty decent episode, different take the way they went about that. The third one's probably my favorite of the season, Beyond the Sea. This is with Aaron Paul and Josh Hartnett. Kate Mara playing the wife, but this one was 80 minutes long, directed by John Crowley. He's an Oscar-nominated film, Brooklyn. So, really good filmmaker. This one has a very Stanley Kubrick feel to it, the way that futuristic sorts, living two lives. Aaron Paul's character has a farm, then he goes up into space, has another job, and then comes back down. But it has to do with this bed. He kind of falls asleep and gets transported up into space. Living a double life kind of thing. And then the same goes for Josh Hartnett's character, good looking guy in the 1960s. And then, they get the call on their watch. They have to go up into space and do what they need to do. And a lot of cool messages and themes in this story.
Yeah, really cool homage to Kubrick there. They're called replicants when they go back. When they lay down, they're able to, basically put their consciousness back on their Earth body, but on Earth, it's actually not a human. It's like a robot or a synthetic, replicant, as they call them. Something happens to one of the characters, one of the astronauts there back on Earth, to their family, and, some bad stuff happens, we'll say. And it really sets up a very interesting and, definitely the strongest episode of the season for me, too. And, of course, it was going to be, we love Aaron Paul, and it was awesome seeing Josh Hartnett again. It had been a while since I'd seen him show up, and the two of them worked really well. I liked how it's, the characters, they had their arcs throughout. They changed throughout. They weren't linear. They both went through their darkness. They both started out in a happy place and went through their darkness. And then you have Kate Mara as like the person that's the wife that's left back home, who's very lonely. She's missing her husband, and, Aaron Paul's character is the husband, and he's very distant even when he comes back to live on the farm with her. And she's having a hard time with that. And that's about all we want to say about that. It's a very strong episode and one that you guys should check out. It's like a little mini movie, very well done, and one of the better Black Mirror episodes, I'd say, of all time, and the best episode of this season for me.
Definitely one of the most surprising endings, too, that I didn't see that coming. So look at toxic masculinity and, a bunch of stuff they're looking at here. But Aaron Paul, Josh Hartnett, I'd love to see these guys in another TV show or movie together. I thought they had great chemistry, but definitely one of the better Black Mirror episodes out there.
Agreed. And from there, we have two more left. Maisie Day. The last two weren't as strong as the first three. They just kind of tried something different here with Maisie Day. there's a starlet and she's getting hounded by the paparazzi constantly. She's on a movie set shooting a movie and she just can't deal with that after a while. She kind of goes on the lam, starts doing drugs, getting into trouble, and just wants to escape from the public eye. You think that she's going to go away to rehab with the help of some people associated with her, a manager and some other people. And it kind of goes in a direction that we haven't seen gone before with Black Mirror. It hasn't ever went to the horror route. And we get a little horror in this episode, which was interesting. It just wasn't executed very well for me. Pay some homages to some other films, which we won't spoil because it'll give away the surprise of the episode. It could have been better though. It just unfortunately they didn't execute it very well, but I like the concept. It just unfortunately wasn't executed. And I don't know what you thought about it. Did you feel the same way?
Yeah, I did. I thought the writing was okay. Directing was not good. It was kind of all over the place and kind of took me out of it. They went a new direction, and overall the final product just didn't work for me in this episode. Overall, it was kind of a boring.
Right. And the CGI part wasn't very good either. Yeah. No spoilers there because we'd be giving it away. But just a misfire here. A cool concept, but not very well done. We'll say that Zazie Beetz, Domino from the Deadpool movies. She was in Joker too. She's in that episode as one of the paparazzi girls who kind of gets drawn into the story. And then we ended up with Demon 79, going back to the 70s in Northern England. It's this Indian sales assistant. Basically, it reminded me kind of Knock at the Cabin, where she's visited by somebody who tells her that she needs to do something very bad in order to save, mankind before the apocalypse, basically. Not much more there, good costume design, good music and score to it. Didn't really feel attached to the main character. Just didn't feel the main characters very much. They tried something different here, and it didn't work. Much like the last episode, I'd say it's a little bit better than episode 4, but not by much. Kind of cool concept, but something that we just kind of saw in Knock at the Cabin and some other apocalyptic movies. Didn't feel like anything new here, and not a very strong performance by either of the main characters in this. It was cool to see some horror elements there. I mean, that's cool, but yeah, just another one that didn't execute very well for me.
Yeah, I'll give them kudos for trying. It just didn't work for me, as you said. Just wasn't executed very well. It was really long too. I think it could have been cut down about 20 minutes, but some of the effects were cool. Some of the score was cool, but overall kind of a miss for me as well.
Same. Yep. So overall, I think that we both enjoyed this season more than we, didn't like the last 2 episodes, but overall strong season, a return to form. It's been a while since we've seen this universe, this Black Mirror universe. Charlie Brooker coming back after 4 years, been working, and you can tell that they took their time with these episodes, made sure they had some worthy stories to tell here. Feels good to get back in this universe. I hope he makes more episodes and doesn't take such a long break, and hopefully get more talented filmmakers and actors involved like they did with this season. With that being said, overall, I'm going to give season 6 of Black Mirror a 4 out of 5 Josh Hartnett hair pieces.
Oh, Josh, is it spiky in the back?
Yes. It would be cool to see those two in like a 60s noir, like detective film. They work together pretty well. I like the two of them. Josh Hartnett's a little older, but I liked the two of them together. They were good on screen together, I thought.
Yeah, they're probably around the same age because they've both been acting about the same length. Because Aaron Paul was in the movies in the late 90s, Van Wilder and other flicks.
That's right.
So yeah, I'd love to see that. So that being said, I'm going to give season 6 of Black Mirror a 3.5 out of 5 Aaron Paul hair pieces. Yeah, bitch. That's right. Yeah, I loved their episode. It was my favorite, the first one, and the second one's pretty good. The other two, pretty forgettable. So hopefully the next season they kind of stick to the dystopian, take on technology, futuristic. Sure. Yeah, that's what they do best. Yeah, it's the best episodes. They tried something different, but just didn't work. So stick to what you know.
Stick to what you know. Go back to the sci-fi dystopian. I agree. You could maybe do an offshoot if they want to do more of the horror stuff. It feels like it should be its own thing, the last 2 episodes. Maybe do something around Halloween, a separate spinoff. that can look at that side. I'm cool with that. And they do kind of tease a different separate production in it. They had something, I can't remember what it was, but it had to do with the blood, like a different production company within those last 2 episodes. So maybe they do have something in the works that's going to dive more into that side. But yeah, they're definitely strongest when they stick to the looking at society through the lens and the sci-fi atmosphere, like they did with these episodes that really worked this season. So thank you guys for watching our review of Black Mirror season 6. As always, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We post reviews all the time, review TVs and TV shows and movies. Blockbusters coming out week after week, and new shows returning all the time. We're going to be back all summer long to cover all this stuff for you guys. And that's all for us tonight. I think you have anything else to add?
It's only going to get hotter right here on our YouTube channel, so stick around and bring
That's
the
right.
towel. Also, check out these wild boys on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and our website, Cinephellas.com, for latest, greatest TV, movie news, and reviews.
So until the next Cinephellas TV review, cheers!